These are the top 10 commanders for beginners in mono black. Number 7 is Yahenni Undying Partisan with a Voltron archetype. So what does this deck do? Well, it makes Yahenni stronger when opponent's stuff dies, plays lots of removal to make sure that happens, and it has a sacrifice outlet with Yahenni's second ability, meaning that you can sacrifice your own stuff to make him indestructible. Usually, Yahenni decks are aristocrats decks, and we'll get into that later, but I thought a Voltron strategy with him was a little more interesting, and I wanted this list to have as many options for archetypes as possible. I didn't want to just repeat the same 10 archetype over and over. So in that case, a Voltron strategy is something where you try and kill people with commander damage. Usually in commander, people have 40 health, but if you do 21 damage with your commander to that person, well, you kill them. So ordinarily, aristocrats and Voltron aren't the best for beginners. Aristocrats is kind of a combo-y archetype, and Voltron requires that you're playing pretty aggressive and making the right target selection to kill the right people first. But Yahenni has very simple card design and can be indestructible, meaning it's hard to remove him. And I thought that was just a good failsafe to remove some of the opportunity for mistakes. You know, if you put him in an awkward position, or if someone casts a board wipe, you can just sack one of your creatures and he's got indestructible for the rest of the turn. In a Voltron strategy, cards like Soul Cleaver would be great with Yahenni. Not only does it give him vigilance, but whenever you sacrifice something with his second ability, he just gets even stronger. Cards like Bitter Blossom are really good in an aristocrats archetype, but they also give him consistent creatures to sacrifice for his indestructible ability. If having a commander that's leading the charge on your battlefield is interesting to you, then something like Shadow Spear is a perfect option in this deck, although it's $30, so it is really expensive. But that's what you're trying to do in this deck, is you're trying to buff up Yahenni so that he can just swing in for lethal with one turn and kill someone when they least expect it, or before they can stop it. So you should play this deck if you like the idea of being a control player. You're trying to kill stuff with removal spells to make Yahenni stronger. You could also play this deck if you want a commander that gets down and dirty themselves. If you don't want a commander that just sits back and farms value, Yahenni is a great option. So why is Yahenni not number 1? Well, I already kind of said it. Aristocrats and Voltron strategies are kind of complicated or just difficult to pilot, so he's definitely not the best commander for beginners, but like I said, his card design is very simple, and I think that's to his benefit when we're looking at what cards people should consider when they're coming into the game and want to play a mono black deck.